Welcome back to another video. Today we've got a little bit of a controversial one. This is a question that I had and a question that I think a lot of people out there have after we saw this video. I'm just going to roll the clip because I think we all know who Chris Hogan is if we're at this video. But what the heck is going on with Chris Hogan and what is going on with Ramsey Solutions? So let me roll the video for you guys that are not tracking what's going on, and I'll see you guys after the clip.
I need to let you all in on some things that have been going on in my personal life. Recently, it's come to light that I've done some things personally that are not in line with Ramsey Solutions. And as a result, I'm no longer a team member at Ramsey. And I'm sorry for the harm that this has caused. I truly appreciate my family, my friends, but I want to thank Dave and the team and all of you for all of your support throughout the years. I'm very proud of the hard work that each of you has accomplished in your lives and on your journey. And your journey doesn't need to end with me moving on, because you all have been doing all the work all along. That said, you will stop hearing from me personally. And if you need help with your money or your life, stay connected with all the great content and great people at Ramsey. Thank you.
This gave me a lot of questions. It gave me a lot of pause. It seemed a little sketchy, right? I was like, what is going on with Chris Hogan? So apparently, Chris Hogan, the author of Everyday Millionaires, host of Ramsey Platform's Chris Hogan Show, apparently he had issues with infidelity. Now, this is unfortunate. I know that this is a difficult time for his family. So I don't want to make light of it or anything like that. So you can tell that he's feeling deep sorrow for it. But I just wanted to come on and tell you guys a little bit of my opinions about the Ramsey Solutions organization and just break kind of this news for you, this question that I had myself, and it took me a while to find the answer to it. So before we get into this, I just want to say that as a private business, Dave Ramsey has the right to do whatever he wants to. He's not beholden to the SEC. He's not beholden to anyone except for that he's the owner of his business. So I do respect that. While I don't respect or I would not reflect some of the things that he does, which we'll get into that, he has the right to do it, in my opinion. He has every right to do it. If you can't have the right to run your business as you see fit in America, then where can you do it? You know, where can you be free? So I appreciate that Dave Ramsey has the right to say and do everything that he does. However, I would not be the person working for Ramsey Solutions because of the things that I'm about to show you. Hogan had also been a source of controversy at the company, which employs 1,000 people at its headquarters in Nashville. Ramsey Solutions prides itself on being the best place to work in America and hires employees that adhere to a strict righteous living code that bans gossip, sex outside of marriage. The company is being sued for firing a pregnant employee who was unmarried. So someone got pregnant out of wedlock and they fired them. So Dave Ramsey's comments on that were, don't talk to me about how much you love your pastor in your church and I just moved in with my boyfriend. So I really don't see the point. I don't see the problem with living with your boyfriend or premarital sex. So we would disagree on that. I don't see what that has to do with you running a great company. A lot of people do that. Hogan, however, admitted to having several affairs, including one with a fellow Ramsey employee, during his divorce proceedings without apparent discipline from the company leadership. So we've got a little bit of inconsistency there. They didn't want to get rid of Hogan. So we've got another story here. Dave Ramsey keeps staff at desks despite COVID-19. So this one, I've got sympathy for all of the businesses that struggled, went out of business, had to try to figure out how to work from home, things of that nature. However, this one, I'm not sure if I can find it here. Okay, it says Dave Ramsey did not require masks in the office. Dave Ramsey has been a vocal opponent of mask wearing, COVID-19 restrictions. And he also talked about a totalitarian government restrictions, mask mandates, and he wanted to start a crusade against them. Later on in the article, I'll go ahead and link this down below. It goes on to see that Dave Ramsey had over 100 cases of COVID within his office. He also had someone with asthma who complained about the COVID situation. He also had people he also is an internet and radio show, so they were able to actually work from home. However, he still refused to allow people to work from home. And like I said, people were let go because they did not want to come into the office. There was someone with asthma who was particularly susceptible to this disease, and they still made them come in. So they were let go. So in a call to his human resources manager, Armando Lopez, he said the following: "Can we be a work from home employer for a short period of time?" He said on the November 13 call, "We have proven it for 5 weeks. It works. Can we? Yes. Are we? No." That message was repeated in a newsletter sent on November 20th, which reported 32 positive cases among staff and 17 staff awaiting tests. So these are some interesting developments within the Ramsey organization. Firing people for having premarital sex, just very, like, he basically runs the organization more like a church than it is an actual business or organization, which is his choice. It's his choice if he wants to do that. It doesn't look like anyone actually died as a result of these measures that he decided to take. Anyways, I just wanted to go through that. And the next thing I wanted to go through is the baby steps. So give you guys my views on these baby steps and whether I agree or disagree. So generally speaking, what I'll say about the baby steps, a good positive thing about them is that they are idiot proof. Down here, I think he says, with Dave's 7 baby steps, you don't need a degree in finance to take control of your money. Basically, they're idiot proof. If you do this, it will work. It's slow, but it will work. So baby step 1, $1,000 emergency fund. First of all, I think this needs to be updated because, especially with inflation coming on, $1,000 emergency fund is not enough to cover anything. So that's supposedly supposed to save you from debt, from going back into debt, backsliding. That's not enough money. All right. I would say at least, especially being from Seattle, at least $3,000 to $5,000 for an emergency fund. Baby step 2, pay off all debt except the house using the debt snowball. So the debt snowball is not something that I actually used. When I was in debt, I used the debt avalanche, which basically means paying off the highest interest rate debts. However, his argument would be that it's psychologically more satisfying for somebody who has no control of their money to do the debt snowball. So what he always says is it's not math, it's about your feelings, and that's what got you into debt is your feelings. So that's what's going to get you out of debt is your feelings. So I can't say that for most people that's not true. So I would say that if you're going to prescribe this mass to most people, it's probably the right move. But mathematically speaking, it is not the right move. Baby step 3, 3 to 6 months in emergency fund. I think that should be baby step 1. Honestly, 3 to 6 months emergency fund, that should be step 1. And then baby step 2 should be the debt avalanche. Baby step 3 shouldn't even be there. Baby step 4, 15% of your household income in retirement. You have to ask yourself, why not more? Why only 15%? Why stop it at 15%? Baby step 5. And the reason why I say that is because if you're going to invest more than 15%, you can build your wealth a lot faster than doing these other things, like saving for college fund. Saving for college fund is going to give you some tax breaks, but why not just invest more and then use that money for college? You have to ask yourself those questions. And in baby step 5, how much do we actually save for college? What's that number? And have we done any math to decide what that number should be? These are all questions you have to ask yourself. But like I said, this stuff will work for most people. Baby step 6, pay off your home early. If you have a really low interest mortgage, there's really no need to pay off your home early, especially if you're doing certain types of real estate strategies, such as having a roommate, such as house hacking, such as owning property and using that to pay for your kids' college. So like I said, these are idiot proof, but they are very slow. So right now I have a mortgage and I'm not paying it down early because somebody else is paying it for me. So baby step 6, baby step 7, build wealth and give. I absolutely agree with this one. What is the point of having all what is the point of having all this money if you're not going to give and live the life that you wanted to live? So one thing I will say is that as far as what you feel like you'd like to do, before you actually run the numbers. This stuff is satisfying. It makes sense as far as your mental. One positive thing that I would say about these baby steps is that if you follow these, and let's say you get down to a baby step 6, 7, you get down to 7 with no mortgage, and you're building out your business, such as what Dave's doing, it does make a little bit of sense to not have any debt, right? All you have is the cash that comes in. You have no risk in your life, and it's one way to be. If the housing market crashes when you have paid for real estate, you really don't care. You don't have any payments besides the property taxes on it. So there's something to be said about the slow pace, the slow way. However, that's just not where I'm at right now. And I'll show you guys that a little bit later in the video. So let me show you guys some moves I've been making in the market. All right. This morning, I'm putting $120 into this growth pie because I think that we're seeing better pricing in the NASDAQ. I put $120 in, and a message I wanted to send you guys was don't run out of ammo. All right. Do not run out of ammo. So in other words, don't put all your money in on one day. So that's why I'm just putting in a little bit. 120 is probably about like, I probably could do that about 5-6 times before I would need to start slowing down and really thinking about what I'm doing. So in my personal situation, that's not a whole lot of money for me. Roth IRA, I've got about $3,900 left for this year. I'm trying to max that out by the time we get to the end of April. So I just put $180 into these companies. There's different strategies that I employ as far as my investments. In my 401ks and my TSP, I just invest in the S&P 500. Within this Roth IRA, I tend to just spread it out. All of these companies, I'm not going to list them all off, but this is just a spray and pray method. Okay, this is one step below the Roth IRA. This is basically saying, hey, I don't see anything in particular that I want to buy today, but I do want to buy today. Okay, so I'm managing my cash. I'm keeping my cash at a reasonable level, and I'm also still buying into the market. So whenever I want to spray and pray, I'll just buy into something like this. But if I see something very specific that I want to buy into, then I'll go in and I'll buy a stock slice, or I'll buy a very specific company. So that's the message I wanted to give you guys, is that there's different levels to being active and being passive. There's completely passive, where you just buy the S&P. There's a little bit passive, where you buy your own constructed mutual fund. And then there's completely active, where you buy a few stocks, right? Something like 30 to 20 to 10 or less. So very active, very risky is going to be buying something like 7 to 10 stocks. Okay. That's going to give you the highest return potential, but it's also the most risky. Something like this would be one step under buying passively into the S&P 500 or into the NASDAQ. So what does this have to do with Dave Ramsey's program? With Dave Ramsey's program, another thing I disagree with him is you're being sold a program. You're being sold Financial Peace University. You're being sold Entree Leadership, which can be $3,000 to $10,000 from what I heard. And you're being sold on his investment managers. You're being sold on his real estate ELPs.
Sending you, the listener, over there. And I will endorse Joe over here in this city, and Jill over here in this city, and Henry over here in this city, and they'll pay me a monthly fee for being endorsed. And they can come to, later we got on the web, and they can come, back in the old days it used to be by fax, and so, but they can come on the web, and they can click on there and find out who the ELP in their city was for investing, and they can go to that and so on.
Which I'm not downing him for that. I love it. I plug my links in the description all the time. I love someone trying to make money and helping people in the meantime. So I have absolutely no problem with that. But just realize that when you're getting a service, you're going to pay for it. So that's what a lot of his show is about. It's an ad. So moving on to the net worth update. So let's check it out. We got $1,793 in the BECU hub account. That's where I pay my bills from. Capital One 360. That was a deal that I went through with you guys a while ago. It was if you direct deposited at least $1,000, you had to have 2 direct deposits that add up to $1,000. You get a $400 bonus. So that was bonus 400. I think that is over, but there's always more bank bonuses. I'm going to do a video on bank bonuses at some point for you guys. BECU savings account, that's a 1% savings account. I use that one as a little bit of flex money, just in case I need a little bit of extra for paying my bills. That's like a second emergency fund, right? It's accessible to my bills account. H and Bradley got 15 grand over there. That is my 6-month emergency fund, which I really don't need while I'm out here in the military deployed. All right, investment accounts. So we got 34 grand in the 401k. We got 8,200 in the individual account. 285, we're still drawing down the Lending Club account. I'm going to put a screenshot on the screen of my Lending Club activities. I don't like Lending Club, but I'll do a video about that one day. M1 Finance, we got 2,200 over there after these deposits hit. Robinhood, $294. I don't know if I'm going to stay with Robinhood, but I don't want to sell over there, so I'll probably just let that ride. I recently just signed up for Fidelity. They have a stock slices option, so they basically do everything that Robinhood does, and they actually have customer service, so I'll be moving over there. Roth IRA, that one has $19,011, $111. TSP, $10,715. So these are starting to get into the double digits. I'm liking that. My individual accounts in my Roth IRA should be in the double digits soon, so that'll be nice. We can get this up to about 100 grand. Washington Get program. So this is a 529 program. It's an education program. It is a college savings plan. So either I'm going to use that, or if I ever have a kid, or brother has a kid, somebody has a child that needs to go to college, that money will be available for college. So whether I use it, whether somebody else uses it, is what it is. So house, car, same thing. Those are worth that. Mortgage is getting paid down a little bit, $246,978. And we got a little bit of credit card rewards over here worth $254. So the net worth for today is $119,411.71. Obviously, this changes a lot with 75 grand of my net worth being in the market, so it changes every day. I've noticed it's become more of an estimate than an actual number, because certain things are starting to change in my life. Like, for instance, as this becomes more of a business, how do you estimate the value of a private business? It's easy to estimate the value of public business. But anyways, hopefully you guys like this video. You guys like the story, my opinions on the baby steps. Will I be following them? I don't think that I will be, but you never know. Once I actually have this amount, $246,000 saved in liquid assets, who knows? Maybe I decide to get another house. Maybe I decide to just pay off my house and focus on business rather than focusing on real estate. But anyways, hopefully you guys liked this video. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Hit those links down below because they can make you some money. I'll do a video on bank accounts soon, but I'll see you guys in the next video.